Greetings everybody, this is the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage and you are watching the last sewing machine restoration for me for this year. The video actually, I've got a line of videos, so I don't know if it's actually going to play on YouTube in 2020 or 2021, but it be that as it may, this is the very last sewing machine that I will be offering for 2020, and this machine will be listed soon, and it will be for sale along with the turquoise two-tone white sewing machine, the 565 model. There were two of those, and one of them was sold already, and I have one left, and I have this one. And because of the restrictions, I really like people to be able to sit in front of the machines and sew on them, and it's very difficult in the winter when it's 10 degrees outside. So, and we're not, bringing people indoors, of course. So we now have lockdown restrictions coming, and we're following those restrictions. So unfortunately, we will have to wait to tackle more machines. I have that old Kenmore that I hope in warmer weather I'm going to give it one more try to see if I can get that grease to come out of it. Every time I get it running, the grease solidifies and stops it again. But you are looking at I really can't think of a more appropriate machine to end such a strange year on as the Singer 201. It is just amazing. 201K to be exact. And some of you, if you're new to vintage machines, or maybe you're just learning about the Singer 201, if you see this machine, you might think, oh, well, I thought that the Singer 201 was a direct drive potted motor machine. Many of them are. Most of those were sold in the United States. This machine is the 201K. It was offered in the US, but didn't sell as much there. They sold a lot more of these in Canada and obviously Great Britain. And if you're not sure how to tell the difference, the 201 with the potted motor will have its light fixture mounted on the front. It's kind of a built-in looking thing, or I think it's attached to the main body. And of course, there is no belt because it is beltless. This machine uses Singer's classic BT motor, wonderful motors, and its light is mounted on the back. And we won't be using it today because I have some sunshine for a change. I'm so excited. I love natural light for doing these videos. So if you see the ad posting, you will see a list of all the procedures that were done to the machine. And I wanted to kind of give you guys a glance at my testing. I think I mentioned you guys, when I'm finished overhauling a machine, I do stitch testing. I want to see how it's stitching. So when I began, I just set the machine up, picked a tension and started going. The top stitch was beautiful, as I would expect from any Singer 201, or any Singer with a rotary shuttle hook for that matter. And you can see, and then I did more. Well, the reason I kept doing more, I even did the short stitch here, was because when I looked at the back, my stitch tension was off. This is the first row I made. And you can see how loose it is. Now, if the bottom thread is loose, that means there's an issue with the upper tension. It's kind of a backwards thing. Now, then I came again and I tried turning up the tension. I had it up to 8 or 9, and it was trying to do a little bit better, but it still wasn't right. Now, you'll notice that these other rows of stitches don't do that. And the reason was I went back. Now, I had taken this apart and cleaned it, adjusted it. But when you deal with a tension assembly, when you reinstall the knurled nut here, you push in. There's a spring behind the little dial that has the numbers on it. Zoom in here. My zoom will zoom for me. There we go. You can see the numbers on the dial. Well, this dial pushes in like this on a spring. Well, when I put the little chrome knob on at the end, I thought, okay, I'm good to go. Perhaps I wasn't paying attention and I didn't have it in far enough. And what that means is I wasn't getting the right tension. Even though I was up to 7 or 8, the number looked right, everything's clean, everything's threaded properly. But if you have issues with thread tension, like you see on my early test stitch sample here, the reason could be that this needs to be adjusted. Okay, you want to make sure that the knurled, this nut here, is just a little bit further in beyond flushed with the end of the shaft here. And it's something you can easily miss, okay? And it's not broken, it's more of an adjustment thing. So if you ever have that happen to you, there are many things to check when you have tension issues on a machine. But because I had checked everything else, I thought, well, and so anyway, sure enough, there it was. And again, this is why I do the testing, so that we can get nice looking stitches. So, just thought I would show that to you guys because I really should. Yeah, that really belongs in a troubleshooting video, I guess. Anyway, I've got another piece of this fabric here. I've got the bottom thread, and I have an upper thread here. I think the last time I had like a brown thread. That doesn't show well on this, so I tried to use a contrasting thread here. So I thought I would basically demonstrate this for you guys and let you hear, and you can barely hear it because it's a Singer 201. They call them the Rolls Royce for a reason. So you guys can hear the machine run and watch how she stitches. This will be especially important for any of you who are interested in purchasing the machine, because again, hopefully the video will show you the running condition, and you can use that, because porch pickup is the only thing that you know we can do right now, sadly. But I know that'll change. Things are going to get better. You just have to hang in there. Okay, so I have it set on the longest straight stitch. I have a foot pedal ready, and let's see what she'll do. And you want to kind of spool her to get her going, which is always a good thing. Singers sometimes like to be spooled. You'll notice I can go slow. I can slow the needle down. It's remarkable how much needle control you get with Singers, because they have, I'm using, you know, an overhauled carbon pile analog, you know, foot control. There's nothing digital about it, and yet it gives you great control, and it can go faster. I'll show you guys. Come over, and we'll make another run here. What have I got? I've got a layer of this cotton, and then I've got a pocket, so I've got two, and then so we have, you know, we've actually got two layers here where the folded seam is. So we got several layers, if I can talk, of the medium weight cotton. So let's come back. She goes right over there, and and you can see the machine has plenty of power. I can't sew fast enough to use all the power that it has. And again, you know, it's just one of those things that the only sound I can really hear, I hear a little bit of the thread spool clanking. They won't hear me rattling it there. But overall, one of the quietest sewing machines ever built, ever in history. So, take this out for you guys. And again, as I've shown with many videos before, folks, when you have a sewing machine, one of the great testaments to its quality and power is that its stitch tension, you know, the quality of the stitch should stay the same even when you're changing layers of fabric, and in this case it's even a density change, right? Because we've got those two, that rolled seam there. But again, the stitches behave themselves beautifully. And now let's come on the back, and you don't see all those little loops because of a simple change. Remember, when you have a vintage machine, sometimes things can be broken, no doubt, but many times, I would suggest to you most of the time, if it's a home machine, not an industrial, but a domestic sewing machine, most often there's a setting that's off. There's thread or dust or old oil or something causing the issues, because these machines occasionally do need parts replaced. You know, they might need a new bobbin tire that I put on this one, and you know, new cord wire and so forth. But honest to God, if you just maintain your machine, it's incredible how long they last. So anyway, so appreciate you watching, guys. It's been an incredible year, and we've got, don't worry, this is the last machine I will be overhauling for 2020, but there are many videos, so we're not going to be short of videos on this channel. But I just wanted to show you guys this. And again, I have many favorite sewing machines. I've worked on so many different models. So many brands made incredible machines, and if you pick a side, you know, people who love the other brand are gonna be unhappy, but they don't have to be, because I love virtually every brand I've ever touched. Every brand has models I love and models that I don't, they're not my favorites. But among straight stitch domestic sewing machines, depending on the project, the 201 is not only my opinion. Don't even take my opinion for granted. Go online and listen to how people talk about them. One of the most incredible sewing machines ever made. And no one, you can't buy them new by anybody. No one in any country in the world makes a machine like this anymore. But we have lots of them to preserve and share. And I appreciate all of you sharing your time and watching. And stay tuned. We will be, like I say, continuing to roll out new videos. Take care, everyone.